How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about AMC, which was up almost 45% on the day. Congratulations to all of my apes out there. I know you're excited when you're seeing the price action. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support, we want to know resistance, we want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for AMC. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $29.33, being up 44.91%. On the low, it tested $20.53, and then on the high, testing $29.73. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 224.163 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 76.472 million shares. So right away, with this above average volume, you can see this is why we had a lot of strength in AMC today. When we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 79.73. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, but we are above the 100-day. We're also above the 21-day EMA and the 50-day. So as you can see, AMC did a strong move, and we ended up seeing a high of $29.73. So going into tomorrow, if this run is going to continue, the next level I'd want to see us actually get past will be right here around $32. And the reason why this is important, because this is the area of resistance in the past, right here around $32.50. So the moment we can get above this 200-day, it officially takes AMC out of the bear market. That means we're back into a bull market, and we can look forward to seeing if it can break out further. But we also have to understand, it is natural. We could have some profit taking, we could have some pullbacks. Stocks just do not go straight up. So if we do end up having that going into tomorrow, I would love for us to actually hold support right here at the 100-day around $24.56. Again, I'm not saying this is what I want to see. I'm just saying if it pulls back, I want to see strength above this level. But we also have to keep in mind of the fact if we have more strength and more buying coming in, then there's a strong possibility we could potentially hold up right here around $28. So it'll be very interesting to see how AMC performs as this week progresses, but I will continue to keep you guys updated. So let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for AMC. As we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at our recent filings here, we have a closed position from Flex Shares, and then we also see got some inflows here from DWS Global Income that purchased 2,781 shares, and then we have JP Morgan Beta Builders that purchased 11,778 shares, and then we have Bank of New York Mellon that purchased 6,473 shares. And another thing that I want to bring to your attention, as you can see as of late, institutions have been loading up on AMC. As you can see for March, they were going to work. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 55.52%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 20.96 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 0, updated 7 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 1.68%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, you can see for the close of the 24th, it was at 55.87, and then for the close of the 25th being at 55.52. So one thing that remains the same, AMC does have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for AMC. So we see on the inflows at 948 and then on the outflows at 908. So we had an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 10 million, on the medium it was 686 million, and then on the small it was 252 million. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 18.52 million, on the medium it was 660 million, and then on the small it was 229 million. And then when we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for March the 28th, which is today, we had an outflow of negative 8.52 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 43.64%. No surprises there. We know there were a lot of traders that were coming into this play. Plus, we know a lot of people were seeing that FOMO and they started buying up some shares. There is nothing wrong with that as long as you understand the risk that you are taking. But it was very good to see that AMC had an amazing run on the day. So let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for AMC, before we get started, let's go over why the shares are racing up today. So we have it here. Shares of AMC Entertainment Inc. were up 29% midday after the movie theater chain CEO talked to Reuters about its latest investment in gold and silver mining company Hycroft Mining Holding Corp and future merger acquisitions. CEO Adam Aron said the company would capitalize on the interests of its retail investors, utilizing the 1.8 billion war chest raised through shareholders in 2021 to invest in more transformational deals like Hycroft, according to Reuters. Hycroft has since raised 195 million through stock sales. It is up 80.5% as of midday Monday. The company was on the verge of bankruptcy prior to the AMC cash infusion, according to Reuters. Mr. Aaron in Monday's interview with CNBC said the company will also use its investments to grow and improve its theaters and pay off debt, which exceeded $5 billion at the end of 2021. So this is definitely some great news here. We have the ape father himself, Adam Aron, letting us know, hey, we raised a lot of cash and I'm going to put it to work. I'm going to use transformational ideas and projects to make sure I'm delivering value to shareholders. And I feel this is very important due to the fact, because if it wasn't for us, AMC would not be where it's at right now. So that's why I want to send a shout out to all of my apes out there, many of the people who have been buying up shares, and also for the ones who have bought it up recently and are seeing a good amount of green inside of their portfolios. I want to see a continuation of this, and as long as Adam Aron keeps moving in the right direction to keep AMC afloat and deliver value, I have no complaints whatsoever. So as far as for the price action is concerned, since we did have a massive move, I want to make sure I'm being clear. Stocks just do not go straight up. They have to consolidate. We have to have pullbacks. So if we do end up having a pullback, most preferably, I would love to see us hold up $28. If we can't hold up $28, then I would love to see some support right at $24.50. Holding this level, consolidating and so forth is not a bad thing at all because it could still get us ready for the next move up. But if we could hold $28, I don't see any reason why AMC should not be able to see $30 for this week. So add that to your homework and as well as your due diligence. And as far as a pullback being further than those levels that I stated as far as 28 or at $24.50, I'm personally just not seeing it. We're seeing a lot of strength inside of the markets. We saw it run up quite a bit. Even when people were being bearish and skeptical and so on, yes, we do have issues that are impacting the economy and as well as the world as a whole, but we have to understand, where else are you going to put your money to look for those returns? And this is what we're seeing. Many institutions, banks, whales putting money into the market to move it up. But I just want to make sure that I'm being very clear that you understand what is going on. We're still going to be going into an environment where we have to deal with interest rate hikes. And we're talking about increases of 50 basis points coming from Jerome Powell himself. Yes, at one point he was being laid back saying it's cool, you know what, inflation is transitory. And now as of late, he's starting to become more hawkish. So we have to be aware of this and know it's going to impact the stock market. So even though when we have these rallies, yes, enjoy them. Be excited excited about it. But at the same time, I want to make sure that you're being cautiously optimistic here. Things can turn around very quickly, and I just want to make sure that you're protecting yourself. And what I mean by that, your initial investment. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. Plus, on top of that, institutions are continuing to load up on shares. So that's why if you were able to grab some shares when it was trading at 12 to 13, you are sitting really right now. And also give yourself a pat on the back to buy that dip. A lot of people were concerned. A lot of people were worried. Oh, I don't know if I want to buy that or not. And you know what? That is perfectly fine. You have to do what works for you. But the fact that you took a chance, you took a risk and said, you know what? No, I'm going to buy this because I see upside in the stock. Now you're being rewarded for it. And I want to send you a big congratulations. You guys can already tell from my expressions. I was looking at my account and I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to see. But anyways, let's see how AMC performs for this coming week. And I will continue to keep you guys inside of the loop. We'll talk soon.